I'm going to kind of go off script here. What are some major things that you ran into that you weren't expecting to, or some major things that you learned, major obstacles that other people could learn from, from your experience getting a physical restaurant up and running?
Yeah. Staffing is probably the hardest part. Having employees is a very difficult thing to manage. You especially in the restaurant business, when you need a lot of people in this industry. And to be honest, you can't pay them truly what they're worth. There's just not enough room in selling your burger for $13 to pay your cook, 20 some bucks an hour. So, there's that balance of running a business, caring about your employees, trying to do right by them, and all that fitting together to make everybody as happy as you possibly can. And then not to mention, when you are dealing with hourly, and sometimes it's low hourly people that come and go, it's a very transient business where you have, in the restaurant industry, people come and go all the time. So you get all walks of life. Early on, when we were just opening up first year, we basically threw warm bodies at problems. And, we turned somebody who's never cooked a ticket in his life into a line cook and basically just tried to plug the hole, put a Band-Aid on it, right? So now that we're going on almost 4 years, we have a great staff. And we've had people that have been here since the beginning and prior to. So figuring out what kind of employee you need, and then once you find that person, doing whatever you can that is reasonable and good for your business to keep that person. That's been something that I've learned, is that I can't run this business without all the employees that we have. So when we get good people, you got to try to keep them. It's the only way to keep food consistent, is to have the same people cooking it day in, day out. That's been the fundamental thing that I've learned, is the ins and outs of having employees and what that whole picture comes with.
I mean, so that's amazing, because I kind of have this spiel that I give, with my 9-to-5 job, which is like, we're in tech. So, the quality of someone in tech needs to be pretty high. A little mistake can go a long way and can mess up a lot of things. So I'm constantly talking to my team leader and my manager, and I'm saying we need to retain the all-stars, and to retain them, you need to identify them, and then let them know that you've identified them, and then B, or no, I guess that would be C, treat them like an all-star. Let them know that they're not expendable. Let them know that, obviously, if they get an ego about themselves,
Sure.
Put them back in place. But if they're doing great work, reward the quality. Let them know that, you see the quality, that it's appreciated throughout, the company, and then, give them compensation for the quality that they're bringing.
Yeah. Yeah. John Trick, our executive chef here, told me when I was first working for him at that little Italian restaurant, he said, "Ricky, it's not cooking the food. Cooking the food's the easy part." He's like, it's dealing with coworkers and dealing with customers that really is what makes people get burnt out in this industry. And I found that to be really true too. It's a lot of times it's not the actual thing you're making or doing that is the hard part about your job. It's humans working next to humans, and it's just like that side of it that you don't read a book about. You just learn.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, so we do a lot of consulting and branding, design work, and physical print, and we got into the space because we recognized that the customer service was actually the most lacking. It's not the quality. Like there's plenty of quality printers out there, but it's the lack of patience with the printers dealing with designers. Like we're designers and we bring our stuff to print, and like these people are just, they're kind of the worst. They speak a different language. Like printing language is is an entirely different language than most other tech and design languages.
Yeah.
And they have no patience for just anybody else that, if they don't understand it, then they kind of will let you go, because the print is not hurting. For as much as everybody thinks that digital is taking over, print is not hurting.
Yeah. Go other places easily.
Yeah, but there's a niche there, and we found it, and so that's kind of where we stepped in, and we were like, well, we're going to be the in between. We're not gonna we're gonna learn the lingo on that side, and then we're gonna be able to deliver it in a user friendly way, customer friendly way on the on the service side.
Yeah. And that's just as important as, in some people's eyes. You'll get a whole spectrum of people that just care about your product. In our case, the food. They don't care about anything else. Then there's people on the other end of the spectrum that almost don't care as much about the food, but really the customer service. Whether it's quick, whether you're friendly to them on the phone, blah, blah, blah. And then there's all the people in between. But to be successful, you got to be able to get that whole spectrum of people to like what you do.